Yes, ma'am. Now we'll start. What mental health needs is more sunlight, more candor, and more unashamed conversations. A very warm good morning to one and all. Bowing to the lotus feet of Lord Sri Durudundeshwara and His Holiness Sriman Niranjana Jagadguru Panchama Shri Shivalingeshwara Mahaswamijigalu Siddha Samsthana Mata Nirasoshi. I, Srimati Bhavalinga Koth, Assistant Professor, Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, Hira Sugar Institute of Technology, Nidasoshi, heartily welcomes you all to International Webinar on Mental Health Management. On behalf of management, principal, HOD, staff and participants, I heartily welcome resource person of this webinar, Mrs. Anjali Pandit, Counselor at Mind Funda, Counselor ETU, Belagavi. Welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you.
I also welcome our beloved HOD, Dr. Ravi M. Yedahalli sir, Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, and I also welcome all the faculty members and participants to this international webinar on mental health management. I feel proud to introduce the resource person of this webinar, Mrs. Anjali Pandit, Counselor at Mind Funda, Counselor with Vishweshwaraya Technology University, Belagavi. Mrs. Anjali Pandit has earned a master's in counseling and psychotherapy, and she is an alumnus of Manasa Institute of Health Sciences. Mrs. Anjali Pandit, counselor and psychotherapist, has been rendering her services in the mental health field for the last 10 years. She runs her own center for counseling, Mind Funda by name, in the city of Belagavi. She has been handling a number of cases with respect to depression, anxiety, relationship issues, suicide, family counseling, adolescent, teenage, and adjustment issues. Presently, she is a visiting faculty at S.G. Balekundri Institute of Technology and Bharatesh Center School, Halaga. She has also been appointed as the counselor at Vishweshwaraya Technology University, Belagavi this year. Mrs. Pandit believes that her contribution to society in the form of counseling can help an individual to nurture the emotional quotient within for a better life. We are very much lucky to have such an eminent personality as a resource person for this webinar. With this brief note, I conclude my introductory speech. Now I request resource person of this webinar, Mrs. Anjali Pandit, to start the webinar on mental health management.
Thank you, Pratima ma'am, for this wonderful introduction. And without wasting a lot of time, let us start on this mental health management webinar that we are supposed to, which we are all waiting for. Yes. At the very outset, let me welcome all of you who are attending this webinar. First of all, your very wish to attend this wonderful session shows that you are all in excellent mental health state, because without which you wouldn't even care to come here and attend this. Thank you very much for that from my end. I request all of you to put off your microphones muted so that we are not disturbed anywhere else. And I would also like to say that there are some questions that have been already asked to me when the people have registered. So when the question and answer Q&A session starts, I will address first those questions I will address, and then later on we will entertain anything that has been asked from the present crowd. Am I clear? So during the question answer session, first I will address the questions that have already been put up to me, and then I will talk about, we will entertain the other questions. Okay. So we would right away start with the mental health management. So here we come out with a presentation. Yeah. Let us now know what is counseling all about. What is counseling? Okay. First and foremost, counseling is not psychiatry. Counselors are not psychiatrists and counselors are not psychologists. So what you see on your screen is what are psychiatrists. It refers to medical treatment. They are medical doctors. They assess both mental and physical aspects of psychological problems. They are experts in mental fields, and they also conduct psychotherapy. Psychologists refer to the study of the topic itself, what problem you're going through. They have an advanced degree. They have extensive training in research or clinical practice, and they specialize in psychological testing and evaluation as to, they give different type of tests as to how much depressed you are, whether it is mild, moderate, or, very severe. That's what psychologists do. So here we come to, I'm a counselor and what I do. So what is counseling all about? Let me come to what is counseling, and then we will go into the benefits of counseling. See, during counseling, you will be provided a very safe and a very neutral environment wherein you can discuss all your issues very safely without being biased. The counselor is not supposed to be giving you any sort of judgments. So it's a non-judgmental atmosphere. It's very confidential, and your feelings are respected. The person coming there for counseling, her feelings or his feelings are very much respected. And there are later on, along with your help, all the alternatives are presented. So when you come to a counselor, all these things happen. To put it very short in a very small line, psychiatrists are doctors who deal with people who have abnormal problems trying to lead a normal life. But counselors are people who deal with very normal people like you and me, trying to deal with abnormal situations. Am I clear, or should I repeat it once more? So I'll talk about counseling. Counseling or counselors are people who deal with very normal people like you and me, trying to face some very abnormal situations that has come up in life. So in short, all of us, one time or the other in our life, do need help of counseling, maybe professional or non-professional. It could be, but we all come up sometimes with situations wherein we are caught up, we don't find some solutions, and then we need help. So now we come to the benefits of counseling. That's already written on your screen. See, there's a lot of, when you are counseled or when you take help of counseling, you have less anxiety, you may get greater self-confidence, you have better relationships, then you also regain your emotional balance. Sometimes you feel very much up and down. Other times you can be increasingly assertive. There are times when you are not able to say no to anybody, but if you take counseling, you can take the help, you can take the suggestions, you can do that. There's a lot of stress relief. If you are into a lot of stress, counseling can provide a lot of stress relief. You can also have the ability to set boundaries because you can say no. Okay. There's also trauma resolution. There are a lot of advantages that, counseling can provide. So these are all mental health, advantages. What happens when you take counseling or you take the help of a counselor? What happens to your physical health? It helps reduce your fatigue and muscle stiffness. It boosts the immune system. It delays the onset of osteoporosis because all the problems and everything infest in your body. Then it helps the body heal faster. Later on, it increases the functioning of many systems in the body because your mind is all, cleared up. Because of counseling, you have been able to discuss your problems very well. And that is why you have a clear mind. That's why you can, all the systems of your body start working properly. Also, it helps in weight control or weight management. Okay. Now, mental health is just as important as physical health. I think mental health in India is given very, very less importance as compared to physical health. If you are unwell or if you have a cold or a cough or any fever or you fall down, you just rush to the hospital or to the doctor and you take treatment as soon as possible. But what about mental health? When do you, go to a mental health specialist or a mental health professional? When do you have to go? If you have a mental problem, actually mental problems do not show any signs. I will later on enlist as to how to identify who is having a mental problem. It could be you, it could be me, it could be anybody nearby us. And then you can identify as to who has these issues and they can be given help. And let me repeat once again, it need not be a mental health professional only. It could be even your good friend or anybody whom you trust. So mental health has to be given a lot of importance, especially during these times, these trying times, the corona pandemic time, wherein we are all stressed out over a number of issues. So now we come to the next. What is mental health? So it's written there, mental health is important. It is something that everyone has. It is positive and it has a negative, it can have even a negative train of thought. The mental health is changeable. Sometimes you feel high, sometimes you feel low. It is complex. It's not every time that everybody is in a very good mental state. And mental health is very, very real. You just cannot pretend that you are happy, or you just cannot pretend that you are not so, in great spirits. What is mental health not? See, it is not a sign of weakness. If you're not feeling mentally fit, it's not a sign of weakness. Seeking for help whenever you have any problems is a sign of strength. It's nothing to feel shameful about. Yes, it is all in your mind. It may be something negative. It may be something you decide to have, a positive mental attitude. It's something to think about only. It's not something to think about only when you feel broken. You have to keep yourself mentally active, motivated, and in high spirits all the time. It's not something that you can snap out of. It's not easy to come out if you have a problem. You take time. You may take days, you may take weeks, you may take hours. Okay. And it's not fixed. It's not, see, mental health is not something which is a fixed state wherein you reach somewhere and you're there. It's not that way. It's not that. So mental health is a very, very, very important issue. I, as a mental health person who has been working in this mental health field for the last 10 years, feel that a mental health only will give you good physical health. If you're strong mentally, only then you'll have very good physical health. Everything starts from the thought that happens in your mind. If you have good thoughts, and if you can deal with them, your body, copes up with everything. So mental health is of highest importance, much more important than physical health. Now, as we are addressing, and the engineering college at NIDSO, she has invited me, I thought of, finding out the problems that are being faced by the engineering students, the last year of the engineering students, because other years they will cope up. The students who are being facing the problems, I have interviewed some of the students here. You can see a picture wherein there are some students. I think they are looking like, some bandits or something, but they are students with their mask. They are very, well aware of putting on their masks. Okay. So I had interviewed Naveen, Akshay, Raman and Vinay Kumar of GIT College, Belgaum, who are in the last year of mechanical engineering. And they also presented some problems. I had also made a lot of study of the problems that they have been facing. So in the left side, you can see a lot of, we'll just go over it very fast because they're already facing the problems and I don't need to discuss them. So we have this, hello?
Anjali?
Yes, ma'am?
Your screen is not displaying.
Hello?
Presentation is not displaying.
Presentation is not being displayed?
Presentation is not displaying.
Okay, just a minute, we'll check.
No.
I'll check it. Can it be seen now?
No, ma'am.
Until now, could you see it, ma'am?
No, ma'am.
Just a minute. Just a minute, ma'am.
Okay.
Can you see it now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so I'll just run through that once more, okay? So we spoke about the psychiatrist, psychologist, and the counselor. We spoke about benefits to physical health counseling. Then how important is mental health? Much more important than physical health. Pratima, ma'am, can you see the presentation now?
Yes,
okay.
Yes,
so we go to this next slide, wherein mental health. what is and what it isn't. So now we are having these problems that are being faced by the engineering students final year. Can you see this, ma'am, up to now?
Yes, ma'am.
Should we continue?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So these are the problems that are being faced by the final year engineering students or many of us worldwide. See, this COVID pandemic has disrupted lives worldwide. There is a huge uncertainty, especially in terms of entrance exams. We don't know which exams, when are they going to be conducted. The students don't know where to go for higher studies. They don't know whether how good are the job prospects. Companies have stopped hiring, and there is no campus replacement. There is work from home internship, which is not as good as on the job internship. There is unavailability of adequate resources for online classes on examinations. Even the college is having some difficulties, though they are trying their best. We have also problems of repayment of loans in case the students have taken up loans for their studies. They cannot start repaying it because they are not in a job. All this leads to a lot of problems like disrupted sleep cycle. There's a lot of anxiety and stress. They are all demotivated. There's lethargy and frustration comes in. Then some people have to cancel the plans for higher studies because you don't know which country to go to and how badly that country is affected. Meanwhile, with all this, the students are facing all this. We have parental pressure. Parents always feel that the time is there and the children have to use it in a proper way. So they want to, the time to be utilized in a proper way. Then there is the examination stress, which is an unknown factor. Where is the exam going to be conducted? Whether online, offline? Can I travel there? Can I go and write the exam? Is it going to be affected by COVID? What's going to happen to me? Some people are away from family. We are all afraid of, contacting COVID. There are also problems like people have left their accommodations because of the lockdown and come over to places where they stay, and they have to still pay the rent. And the most of everything, above everything is this media scare and social media pressure, which is continuously, bombarding us with information every day as to the status of what is happening to all of us near and around. So these are the problems that all of us are facing. Like you see, I collected this data from all these students that you can see here. And now we would go through what are the strategies that we need to employ to come over all these problems. So we go to the next slide. Now, this is what is the symptoms that you can see if you're in trouble. These symptoms could be happening to you, to anybody who is nearby you. So in case you find anybody or yourself going through these problems, you have to take help. You need to take help. These come in these categories like your mood, which you can be anxious, you can be guilty, you can be feeling I'm not doing anything. There is feeling of hopelessness. What can I do? There's nothing to do. How do I get over all this? There's a loss of interest in activities. There are many times when people face a lot of interest in loss of interest in activities wherein you don't feel like getting up, you don't feel like doing anything, you don't feel like, looking good, getting dressed, talking to people, and there's a continuous mood of sadness. So this is the time wherein you need to find or take help. There's also behavioral changes that you find. Behavioral changes could be agitation. You could be agitated with any little thing that happens. You could be finding yourself crying extensively for no reason. There could be irritability in everything that comes your way. Any small thing may irritate you. There's also a lot of rage and anger filled inside, which wants to come out, which wants to express, which doesn't happen. Then you continuously feel restless. You're not at peace. You want to change. You want to do this. You are not. When you do this, you want to do that. And when you go there, you want to do this. You really don't know what to do. And this isolation of not wanting to meet anybody. Isolation is also one thing that you don't want to see anybody. You don't want to talk to anybody. You don't want to be civil. You don't want to smile. You don't want to strike any conversation with anybody. These are behavioral changes. There is also sleep. See, we all have this, all of us until now, we know our pattern of sleep. Some of us may need 5 hours, some of us may need 6 hours or whatever. But when you are in need of help, your sleep pattern also changes. You may get up early with a lot of tense feelings, or you may sleep excessively because you want to escape reality. There's a lot of restlessness during sleep. Maybe you not get sound sleep. As soon as you get up, instead of feeling rested, you feel very, very tired. So these are the problems. There are also cognitive problems like lack of concentration. Whatever you try to do, you're not able to do. You always think of something else. And any activity which may require only about half an hour may take double the time. Okay. There are other problems like excessive hunger. You may feel continuously hungry. You want to eat, or the other way around. Also, lots of appetite. You really don't want to do anything. And there's a continued feeling of fatigue. Okay. I want you to read these symptoms, because when you have all these symptoms, you need help. You have to take help. You have to ask for help. Or if you find anybody nearby you who is going through all this continuously for more than a week or for more than 2 weeks, that person needs help. Am I very clear on this? These are the symptoms of mental illness wherein you need somebody whom you can talk to. That can be a counselor, that can be a professional, that can be a friend, that can be a parent, that can be a relative, anybody whom you trust. But these are the signs that you should know that you need help, that somebody else also needs help. Okay. Now, out here at Mindfunda, we have some strategies to overcome the mental health issues. Dr. Trupti Patel Chowdhury, psychiatrist and a relationship expert from Surat. She's the one who's come up with all these strategies. We will discuss with each of you, each of these strategies in detail. Okay. The first one is, it starts with A, that is attitude awareness. The attitude is, now during this pandemic, is you're not alone. We are all, the whole world is in this. Everybody is in the same boat. We are all having the same fears. We are all having the same problems. And let us remember that it is only a lockdown and it's not a punishment. It is something to help us to take care of ourselves. Okay. So you have to have a good attitude. You have to have an awareness of the attitude. Then you have to have acceptance of the situation. Let us all accept that we are all there and everybody is going through the same things. Maybe, you know, each and every person who is dealing with it has a different tune. Maybe he has a different problem. I have a different problem, but everybody is in the same thing, in the same problems. So acceptance of this, that this situation is there and it is nearer around us, is very, very important. Let's not deny. Once you accept what is there, you will learn to deal with it. You will learn to know how to manage all these problems when you accept everything. Then we have assessment. We have to also assess what is happening. See, there are a lot of cases coming up. There are a lot of things happening in and around us, but there are also people who have been, you know, cured and coming back. There have been a lot of good things also happening. So let us assess the state. Let us assess the state of affairs and find out that yes, we are not there at present. Yes, it has not happened to us. Yeah, we are okay. We can manage, and we are going to come out of this. This is, and also we need we also need adjustments to be made in the family and to ourselves, and to adjust to the new situation that is there. The next is B. You have to be mindful of your own mental diet. Now, when I say mental diet, we always think of something, when we say diet, we always think that's something to eat. Dieting, I'm on a diet, means I'm not eating. But a mental diet is something that is what you think and what goes on in your mind. I think we are all very mindful and we are all, you know, choosy about what goes in our mouth, right? So we always think, okay, I like this. It's going in my mouth. I like it. These are the things that I need. I need these carbohydrates. I need these proteins. I need this. I need this much of water. I need this much of vitamins and everything. So we are always, you know, very much mindful of what is happening and what is going inside our mouth. But we are not mindful about what happens to our mental status. Here at this step B, I want you to be aware of your mental diet. Your mental diet is so important that whatever you put in and whatever thoughts you think about, it grows. Whatever thought grow into belief. Your belief then leads to reality and experience. Whatever you believe in, you work for it, and then it really leads to reality and experience. So you have to always be mindful of what thoughts go on. If, yes, we all go through negative thoughts. If we go through negative thoughts, try and find out, stop them, and feed your mind with positive mental thoughts. Okay. Now the next one is create a positive narrative. Exactly what I was telling even before. You have to say that we are going to come out of it. And if you are continuously thinking of negative thoughts, you become not at ease with yourself. If you are not at ease with yourself, this leads to dis-ease. Can I repeat myself? If you're not at ease with yourself and your thoughts and your own thinking pattern, it leads to dis-ease, okay, which is disease. That's why to create a positive narrative, you have to continuously think about the right things. Yes, if you want to watch the news, you do it, but only maybe once in a day. Keep yourself updated about what is happening and not continuously go on the whole day as to what is happening at every nook and corner of the world. While doing this positive narrative, I just want you to practice gratitude, forgiveness, and meditation. Gratitude is something that you have already have. Forgiveness is something that you should do to others and to yourself. You have to do it. And also meditation can be sought out, to create a positive narrative. In the morning itself, when you tune your mind to create something positive, your mind decides to be positive the whole day long. The next step is D, that is distract yourself. Distracting is not just by, looking this way and that. It is to keep yourself completely occupied by having a routine, set up a routine for yourself, which includes, your routine may include work, it may include fun, it should include entertainment and learning, everything, because you have time now. The colleges have not yet begun. You have maybe working from home. The others, if you have free time, you please make a timetable wherein you can have work, you can have fun, you can have entertainment and learning, and also exercise. You have to keep yourself fit. Okay. I always recommend exercise in my therapy for mental fitness, not for physical fitness. Because whenever you exercise, you always release endorphins, which give you a very positive feeling. Whenever you exercise, after you finish a good session of exercise, you always feel very good about it. One thing is that the exercise is over. One thing is you have achieved it on time and you have done everything. That is why you feel very, very nice after you have exercised. So I repeat that I do not recommend exercise for being physically fit, which it always does. It's a byproduct. But exercise also helps you in being mentally fit and positive. So also remember, when you're doing your exercise, it's okay, or when you're planning out your day, it's okay to be bored. Sometimes you can spend some time being bored even. See, being bored is not something which is a sin. You can be bored because when you're bored, you allow your mind to think in all matters, wherein you'll find something different, something new, something you may discover something new about yourself. That is very, very important. The next step is E, that is express your emotions. We all cannot be in a constant state of, high motivation all the time. It is very, very, very normal for us to face ups and downs throughout the day. At any given time or any given minute, there are a number of thoughts running in your mind. So each time you cannot be in high spirits. Each time you cannot be a motivator. So whenever you feel low, kindly express your emotions to anybody. And if you do not have anybody to express, kindly write them down. Even that will help, because it will empty your mind of all the negativity that is there. There is one more thing. If somebody else is expressing their emotions to you and their anxieties, my advice to you is just give them a listening ear. Whenever anybody is expressing their own problems, you should only be giving them a listening ear. You cannot override their problems and say, no, what you're facing is just nothing and I have much more, I am having so many bigger problems than you are and you are having nothing. No. At that point, when a person is trusting you with their problems, they think that their problems are the highest, and that is why they are trying to tell you. So whenever anybody else is expressing, kindly just give them a listening and an empathetic ear. Next, we come to family and friends. Friends, I think we are supposed to be maintaining social distancing and not social disconnecting. Okay, we don't need to disconnect from everybody. We need to be only away from anybody, maybe 2 meters. That is what has been recommended. That is all. We can talk, we can, transact, we can relate, we can talk to them over the phone or meet, or even if you meet, we should maintain the distance. So the social distancing is not about disconnecting from anybody. You have to be connected to everybody. Maybe, you find time, or maybe you make a list of whom you need to contact, whom you need to call, you need to find out, and you need to relate to, talk about their problems or your own problems. So F is for family. Now this is a very classic case of it being like in a big boss family, wherein everybody is cooped up inside one house and we need to deal with each other. We have all gone through all this during the lockdown period. Maybe we have all our highs and lows, and then we found out the best part and the good part of all our family members, and the not so good part of the family members also. Okay, so we do need to connect to family and friends and do not be disconnected. The next is G. G is go inside, not outside. Don't go outside the house. Ghar ke bahar mat jana is what our Prime Minister has told us. So we shouldn't go out. Try as much as possible to go inside, in the sense introspect. Kindly find and introspect yourself. This is exactly a very good time to introspect. You can find out your own strengths, your own weaknesses, what you want to achieve, where you want to go. You can, find out what others are doing. You can try to imitate them, maybe, copy them, what they are doing. And you can find out your own goals. You can find out how I can be a better person. There's a small exercise that you can do, ask your friends to write 1 good and 2 bad points of you, so that you can improve on the points that they think that you need improvement. This is what you can do. So here is a very good time to go inside and not outside. The next step comes is help others. Like I was telling earlier, if you feel needs help, try and, lend a helping hand to others, so that they are also facing similar problems. They may not be knowing how to do it. They may be in a mental bad state. So help others. The next one is iMessages. In iMessages, you have to continually tell your brain that I am safe, I am secure, and I am going to be strong. If you continuously brainwash yourself about these iMessages, you're sure to come out of all this very safe and very, very strong. So let me repeat. The iMessages can be, I am safe, I am secure, and I'm going to be really very, very strong. And I'm going to come out of this really in a very, very great way. Also, I belongs to immunity building. Now we see that the COVID has come up everywhere. The government has tried its best to, arrest everything, but it's not happening. Now it's all on us to build our own immunity mentally and physically. Take care of yourself and your health, wherein you build wherein your immunity is so strong that you don't need any other hospitalization. The next step is J, that is just ask for help. Whenever you find that you have a problem, just do not hesitate. Like I mentioned earlier, asking for help is not a sign of weakness, it is a sign of strength. Your friend may put up a different point of view of your problem, and then you will realize that what you were thinking was really not very important as you think it was. Because when I'm in a problem, I always feel that it's such a big thing. But when I discuss it with others and I find that others are also going through the same thing, then yes, I understand that everybody is going through the same thing. I'm not just the one who is suffering. Next one, we come to K, that is for kindness. This kindness is one thing that we always knew is kindness towards others, help others. But here I'm talking about kindness towards your own self. Be kind to yourself. You have set up a routine and you're not able to follow it for some reason. Be kind. Oh, it's okay. It's okay not to stick to routines. Routines and, timetables are there always, you just go adhere by, not minute by minute. Sometimes you may exactly do according to the timetable. Sometimes you may not do it. Kindness also, maybe sometimes you have done something wrong. You should not have done. Maybe you have hurt somebody. Be kind to yourself and forgive yourself first, wherein you will later on learn to forgive others. So that is also very important. The last one in this list is L, that let us all fight this together. All of us are going to come out of it. All of us are going to face it. The peak is there now. The cases of corona are rising. Yes, we are going to reach a peak, which later on is sure to come down, because what goes up always comes down. It always does that. So we are at the peak now. We are all in the same boat. Kindly remember, all of you out there, all of us are in the same boat. Nobody is going ahead. Nobody is going to appear the exam and get the seat. None of the engineering students, please remember that all are there only. Nobody is going ahead of you, getting the seat or grabbing it before you could. Everybody is in the same situation. Your problem now is, and your way of going about this is, you have to just survive this year 2020. Let me repeat, we have to only survive this year 2020 and emerge physically and mentally fit towards the end of this year. This is the only way that is going to come out. Okay. Now let me go through. See what we went through, the strategies. What happens is, the biggest wall you have got to climb is the one you build in your mind. We always build up problems in our own mind. It may not be the case. You just learn to tackle them and, cross this wall which you build up in your own mind. The next one is, instead of focusing on the circumstances that you cannot change. See, you cannot change the whole world circumstances, the way the whole world is going through all this pandemic, dangerous pandemic. You just cannot change anything. What you can do, you focus on that, focus strongly and powerfully on the circumstances that you can change. Okay. Then next is, there are a lot of problems that students are facing, that what do I pick up as a career? What do I do later? Yes, you all are engineering students. You all have picked up certain, branches already, and you're surely going to do that. Meanwhile, you could be a good human being. There's a lot of opportunity in this area and very little competition. Can I repeat this? I just love this sentence. See, other than being excellent engineers, excellent doctors, or whoever you are in whatever wonderful field that you have chosen, being a good human being is also as important. There's a lot of opportunity in this area and there is very little competition. So being a good human being is nowadays very, very important, rather than being everything else that you are there. Okay. So now coming to a last very important message, that even there's one question that will be answered here. Okay. There's one question that has been asked to me, is, as a counselor, what is your advice for your students? Okay, so this is it. My advice for everybody is, change is constant. This is going to change. It's not going to be forever. We are not going to be forever affected with this coronavirus, okay, COVID-19. Life has highs and lows. So as the graph is going high, it will come down. So also, all the opportunities which you have lost until now are going to come up. Everything is going to restart with a bang, leading to a very bright future. Yes, it's going to take time. Meanwhile, you got to only hang out there and emerge out of 2020 very successfully. The situation is bound to change, only for the better. So my message is, simply hold on and keep yourself calm. This is the main message that I want to, convey. I wish all of you now.
Ma'am, can you please stop presenting, ma'am?
Yes, we have finished our presentation. I will now address the questions, ma'am, that they have already sent. Okay.
Okay.
I will send the question. I will address the questions that you have already sent.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Now there is one question here, which has already been asked during the time of registration, is, does the education system is the reason for increasing stress in the student's mind? Okay. Now, I mean, what I understand from this question is the education system the reason for increasing stress in the student's mind? I really do not think that the education system is increasing any stress in the student's mind. First of all, if you are enrolling yourself in the engineering or in any education system, it is of your own choice that you have come there. You have taken up this choice. So whenever you find any difficulties in the education system, or whenever the professors or the teachers or the staff is teaching you anything, and if you do not find something easy, or if you do not understand, they're always there to help you. The colleges always have this sort of, personal groups wherein a teacher is heading there. You can ask them. They will help you out in all sorts of problems. So the education system is not increasing stress in the student's mind. They are trying their best to make you ready for the, the life that you are going to face. The education system is trying their best to help you in facing the problems of the society. Like, they also have personality development classes, they have soft skill classes, then they have how to appear interviews and how to increase confidence. I think many a times when such classes are conducted, the students do not appear the classes. They think it is not important for them. And then later on, you feel you regret for not having attended these classes. So the education system is trying. Yes, there are some pros and cons. There are some times when the chapters that are being taught in the colleges are not at all used in the regular day-to-day life. But yes, you will at least learn discipline, and you will learn how to come about and how to lead a routine life if you go through this professional technical courses. Okay, am I clear with this? This is the answer to this question. Let me go to the next one. Does society really watch over the problems of the students? Yes, society does watch the problem of the students. There are a number of people who want to help, but do the students take help? There are people, your own people, nearby people who ask you many a times, is something wrong with you? Do you need help? Are you understanding what's happening in the college? Are you, following what's happening? But sometimes we do not take their help. Herein, when you say the society, is it really watching over the problems of our students? Yes, it does help you. It does want to help you, but we do not take help. And if you find people who are not taking help, you kindly find out those who are going to help you out. There must be somebody out there who is going to help you. If not, professionals are always there. Professionals are always there. You have to reach out and you have to take help. The next question is, why is today's generation not having mental satisfaction? And why are they mentally depressed? Actually, coming to think of it, I don't think everybody is mentally depressed. I find the young generation is really very, very clever. Anyway, if you feel that there is no mental satisfaction to the students, these could be one of the reasons that the new generation is of instant gratification. Okay? If I want this, I want it just now. I want it right now. I want a pizza, I want it right now. I want a digital watch, I want it right now. I want a Nike shoes, I want it right now. Whatever happens. So the instant gratification that is there is a problem which is creating mental dissatisfaction among the young nowadays. Earlier, during the earlier times, we did not have this. Earlier, we did not have these problems. There was no instant gratification. Whatever we wanted was asked later on. There are plenty of choices nowadays. That also becomes a problem. If you have so many choices, then we are at a loss of choosing from all these things. The availability of choices creating a lot of problems, and the tolerance capacity of this generation is gone down. The tolerant capacity earlier was better. We could, tolerate when there was no success. We could tolerate it. Nowadays, success is wanted by everybody, and if you do not find success, your tolerance level goes down, and that is why your mental satisfaction also goes down. Okay, we will still come back if you want more of this. We have the next question: why people are getting so mentally disturbed and frustrated of themselves that they need a therapist? So this is a question: why people are getting so mentally disturbed and frustrated of themselves that they need a therapist? Earlier, a counseling session was done by extended family members. Earlier, we used to have some maushis, some kakas, some atyas, some uncles, some aunties, some old people, some friends, and some mamas, and everybody who could help you out. Nowadays, we are having a neutral family, a very nuclear family, wherein you don't have anybody, or you don't relate much to your parents, or your parents are busy, or you don't want to tell them. Maybe they do not have the time. You always feel that they don't understand you. So that is why nowadays we feel the need of a therapist. Okay, and then there are very high expectations. The high expectations are from the teachers, the parents, and everybody near and around you. If you find a child who is performing very well in the beginning, the expectations from this child goes up so high that later on the child is unable to come up to the expectations. And that is why when you fail to come up to the expectations of everybody near and around you, then you start feeling frustrated and you need a therapist. That is why we need one. The next question is, like the one I have already addressed, as a counselor, what is your advice for your students? The one thing I would like to say is, God has made each one of us special. You and me, we have been given some special qualities, which maybe we will find it early or later. Try and find it out and work upon them. Somewhere, sometime, you are going to find out how special you are, and you have to work on it. This is a very, very important advice. Trust yourself and trust your own judgment about yourself. This is very, very important. Over to you, ma'am. Are there any questions that you would
Yes,
like
ma'am.
to ask?
Yes, ma'am. Some participants asked the questions in chat box, ma'am, that I will go through one by one.
Yeah.
Adamu Adu Abubkar asked the question like, do financial stress and social life affect the mental health of a student?
Yes, it may affect the mental life of the student because, repeat once more, ma'am, financial.
Do financial stress and social life affect the mental health of a student?
Yes, it may affect the mental life of the student because if financially you have a problem and you're not able to achieve your own targets, or you're not able to achieve your own courses that you want to do, that may make you feel frustrated. And if you have you do not have a good social circle, good social circle, also that may affect you, may make you feel lonely. It's always good to have one or two good friends, maybe not a very big one, not a very big, circle of friends, but it's always good to have a good circle of friends. Yes, ma'am, the next one.
Ma'am, Ishu Makontia asked one question like, how can we motivate ourselves regularly, because sometimes we are so down that we are not able to do something, so how can we do that?
The best thing about motivating yourself every day is write down your goals and then meditate early morning, maybe only for 5 minutes, and repeat these sentences that you want to do. I am going to achieve this. I am going to achieve this. I am going to achieve this. Repeat it in your mind. That is how, by meditating, you're going to, brainwash your own brain to achieve what you want to achieve. Early morning when you do this meditation, maybe it could be only 5 minutes. You just take deep breaths, 10 deep breathing, and then you repeat what goals you want to achieve. That will keep you motivated. Maybe 1 or 2 days you may not, but later on you will see that it will keep you motivated the whole day long. Trust me, I have done this. Okay? Kindly mute it.
Ma'am, Misha Srinivas
Yes.
asked one question like,
Yes.
is there any ways to measure our positiveness?
Yes, psychologists do have this test which can measure whether you're in a good mental state or not. But you do not have an index like a thermometer or something wherein you can measure your positive mental state. Okay, you do not have anything like a thermometer wherein you can test your positive mental state. No, if you're feeling nice, if you're feeling motivated, if you're feeling like laughing, if you're feeling like motivating others, that shows that you're in a good mental state. Okay, these are all the signs.
There is one more question. How can meditation help in daily life?
I've already answered this, but I'll just take it once more. Meditation helps you to be oriented towards your goal, whatever is your goal. If you have decided something, your short-term and your long-term goals, it will help you to achieve them, because while you're meditating, you will find some answers or some, suggestions that come to you in your mind, wherein you can achieve whatever you have to. So meditation is an excellent source of achieving your goals. It is going to help you. Have I answered you, or you want me to elaborate some more?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, there is one more question.
Yes.
From Dr. Krupa Rasna, madam, does introverts need counseling because the world looks up extroverts? Does counseling change his personality? But the thing is, will he be happy?
Introverts are people who do not like their personal matters with others, and this is something which is their characteristic, which generally does not change. Okay, an introvert person generally remains an introvert. Okay, and it's okay to be introvert, no problem. The only problem would be if the person nearby around the introvert feels that the introvert is going through something, we have to intervene and find out. But yes, it's okay to be an introvert. There are many people who just don't enjoy sharing their own, what happens in their brain with others. So it's okay to be introvert. Ma'am, can you repeat this question once more? So it is a little complicated. I want you to answer a little more on this.
Okay, ma'am. Does introverts need counseling because the world looks up to extroverts? Does counseling change his personality? But the thing is, will he be happy?
One thing is, counseling may not be really required for introverts, but it may help him to get a better perspective, him or her. The introvert may get a better perspective. As you say, as ma'am says, extroverts are more popular than introverts, no doubt. But these introverts are happy in their own field. So counseling may help them to come out by getting a different perspective in this matter. It may help in a certain way. Yes, it can go about. That's it. Have I answered the question, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Anything else?
Ma'am, there is one more question from Akshay Devpurkar. How
Okay.
can we help someone with mental health problems like depression or anxiety? Because the one who is depressed will not be in a state to understand the reality except what's going on in their mind.
See, like I was saying, depressions are of 3 types: mild, moderate, and severe. Okay. Now, the one that you're talking about is this person does not know anything else that is happening beside him other than what is happening in his mind, shows that it is moderately severe sort of depression. This type of a person needs the help of a psychiatrist who is going to provide medicines for him for some time. If you go to a psychiatrist, it does not mean that you're going to take the medicines for lifelong. A psychiatrist will provide medicine for some time. Along with counseling, a depressed patient can come out of his depression. Am I clear? So this person, this depressed person needs psychiatric intervention. He will need some medicines for a while so that he can come out of it, after which counseling will help, and later on he would be as normal as you and me are.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am,
Next.
there is one question from Mary Grace Marimla. How can you tell a student is suffering mental health problem if there is no symptoms present?
Yes, ma'am. There is one whole big slide which I will show you once more. Okay, these are the symptoms. There's a whole big slide wherein this Mary, you said Mary, ma'am? Is she Mary?
Yes, ma'am. Mary Grace.
Yeah, Mary Grace. Yeah, let us go. Yeah, see, these are the signs, early symptoms of mental health illness. These are the signs that she has to go through. If you have these signs, then she needs help. Okay, mood, behavioral problems, sleep problems, cognitive problems, others. This is already what I have discussed. So if anybody are having these type of symptoms, they need help. Has that answered your question, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Next one, ma'am.
Ma'am, can we play the video, ma'am?
Yes, we can play the video, ma'am. Can you start the video?
Yes.
1 minute.
Yes, ma'am.
1 minute. Just, ma'am, just a minute. Huh? See, all those viewing this webinar, I'm going to play a video of Sandeep Maheshwari, who is a youth icon and has made a number of motivational videos. If not this video, you can also follow his other videos, which are excellent to keep you motivated. We'll just play a small clip now. Over to Pratima, ma'am. Ma'am, please play the clip.
Okay, ma'am. Sure.
मेहनत इतनी खामोशी से करो, मेहनत इतनी खामोशी से करो कि कामयाबी शोर मचा दे। जिनमें अकेले चलने का हौसला होता है, एक दिन उनके पीछे काफिला होता है। कामयाब लोग अपने फैसले से दुनिया बदल देते हैं। जबकि नाकामयाब लोग दुनिया के डर से अपने फैसले बदल देते हैं। जिससे किसी को उम्मीद नहीं होती, अक्सर वही लोग कमाल करते हैं। जीत और हार आपकी सोच पर निर्भर करती है। मान लो तो हार होगी, और अगर ठान लो तो जीत होगी। जब तक आप अपने आप से ना हार जाओ, तब तक दुनिया की कोई भी ताकत आपको हरा नहीं सकती। अगर तुम सूरज की तरह चमकना चाहते हो, तो पहले सूरज की तरह जलना सीखो। सपने को पाने के लिए समझदार नहीं, थोड़ा सा पागल होना पड़ता है। कोई भी लक्ष्य इंसान के साहस से बड़ा नहीं। हारा वही जो लड़ा नहीं। बाहर की चुनौतियों से नहीं, हम अपने अंदर की कमजोरियों से हारे। जिस तरह पतझड़ के बिना पेड़ पर नए पत्ते नहीं आते, ठीक उसी तरह कठिनाई और संघर्ष के बिना अच्छे दिन नहीं आते। वक्त तू चाहे कितना भी परेशान कर ले मुझे, लेकिन एक दिन ऐसा भी आएगा जब मैं तुझे बदल दूंगा। अगर आप उस वक्त मुस्कुरा सकते हो जब आप अंदर से पूरी तरह से टूट चुके हो, तो दुनिया की कोई भी ताकत तुम्हें तोड़ नहीं सकती। एक इच्छा से कुछ नहीं बदलता, लेकिन निश्चय से सब कुछ बदल जाता है। जहां तक भी रास्ता दिख रहा है वहां तक तो चलो, आगे का रास्ता वहां पहुंचने के बाद दिखने लग जाएगा। हर छोटा बदलाव बड़ी कामयाबी की शुरुआत होता है। इंसान सफल तब होता है जब वो दुनिया को नहीं, खुद को बदलना शुरू कर देता है। विचारों को पढ़ करके बदलाव नहीं आता है, विचारों पर चल करके बदलाव आता है। जिंदगी में पछतावा करना छोड़ दो। कुछ ऐसा करो कि तुम्हें छोड़ने वाले पछताए। जिंदगी की रेस में जो लोग आपको दौड़ करके नहीं हरा पाते, वो आपको तोड़ करके हराने की कोशिश करते हैं। जिस इंसान ने कभी गलती नहीं की, उसने कभी भी कुछ भी नया करने की कोशिश नहीं की। गलतियां करने में कोई बुराई नहीं है, लेकिन बार बार एक ही गलती करना बुरा है। अच्छा दिखने के लिए नहीं, अच्छा बनने के लिए जिए। इज्जत और तारीफ मांगी नहीं जाती, कमाई जाती। सपने वो नहीं है जो हम नींद में देखते हैं, सपने वो है जो हमारी नींद उड़ा देते हैं। अगर जिंदगी को समझना है तो पीछे देखो, लेकिन अगर जिंदगी को जीना तो आगे देखो।
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
Finished the video, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that comes to an end of my presentation. Thank you very much, all of you, for watching. And thank you for your wonderful questions also. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Shall we conclude the
Yes, we conclude.
session?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon to all. To offer vote of thanks. On behalf of management, principal, HOD and participants, I wholeheartedly thank Mrs. Anjali Pandit, Counselor at Mindfunda, Counselor VTU Belagavi, for sharing the information about the topic mental health management. Thank you, madam, for such an informative session, which will surely help us for managing our life. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for having given me the opportunity. Thank you very much. See you. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, I take
Yes,
the opportunity to thank our beloved HOD, Dr. Ravi M. Edahalli, sir, for his encouragement, guidance, and continuous support throughout the organization of this webinar. Thank you so much, sir. I sincerely thanks all the participants for their active participation and patience listening. And one more thing, feedback link will be shared in WhatsApp group. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, Ravi sir. My special thanks to Ravi sir and the college also for having given me this opportunity. Thank you once again. See you.
Thank you.